Get those people over here.
Okay, we're live.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the uh, February 17th, 2026 edition of the Washington County Committee for Community Involvement, the WCCI. My name is Bruce Bartlett. I chair this group, and I've chaired it for 4 long years now. And we are looking at what may be the last meeting of this sort of the Washington County CCI in history. So I want to welcome you all to the meeting. And what I would like to do is to go around uh, all the panelists and let you introduce yourself and give us an idea of what you might be thinking of doing with your third Tuesdays of the month, and what you're doing with your CP, what your follow on to your activities in the CPO might be. And I want to invite you to consider whether you would apply for one of the four positions. Let's see what happened. My screen just went crazy. There's going to be four um, commissioner district groups, and they will need leadership in those groups. And the county, for a long time, has needed to up its game in presenting itself.
Huh.
And it's ironic that we know more about the service districts than we do about the county. And so the new program promises to front and center county things. And there's many things at the county that need to be emphasized. However, it does not look like there will be local reporting on what's going on. So I'm going to go last in this. The chair goes last, but I invite you all to think about what your next civic activities are going to be in the absence of having a CPO to direct them through. There is the Planning Commission, which takes care of our land use stuff, but there's a lot of things the CPOs did, and I use that past tense intentionally,
You can keep it closed.
that are going to be potentially looking for a home. So, Virginia, are you cooking dinner or are you?
I'm back.
So I'm going to start with you, CPO one, the dominatrix of CPO one, um, about, I mean, you have the Cedar Mill News kind of giving you a continual civic activity to take part in. So how do you see your future post CPO?
Well, in regards to my community through Cedar Mill News, I noticed actually a disappointing but understandable lack of interest in the weeds of county government and community engagement. Um, the biggest the most visited link when I send out the news email is always new businesses.
Mm.
I mean that's part of life in a community, but we get 300-400 hits on CPO stuff, which isn't trivial. Um, Life after CPO, I don't know. I mean, in some ways, I'm relieved because it's been such a fraught situation
For the
for
last,
me. For me, ever since the departure of OSU, uh, and that's okay, I guess. Life marches on. Um, I definitely do not intend to apply for one of those district positions, at least not until we find out what the requirements are. And I mean, these folks making it up as they go along doesn't instill me with huge amounts of confidence in their commitment to meaningful community engagement.
Well, if past performance indicates future results, we aren't looking at anything at all hopeful.
Well, and it's top down. I mean, back when Andy Dyke was the chair, we learned that his vision for the CPO system was to, as a vehicle to tell people what the county was interested in and was doing. And we were able to sort of resist and redefine at that point, but here we back are again. I think that is my answer to your question.
It does. Okay, CPO 1. CPO 2 is Beaverton, so we don't have anybody from that. CPO 3, Ben.
Yeah, I haven't really thought about my plans too much. I always have too many things vying for my time. So,
Any civic things?
well, like I'll echo what Virginia said. I'm very skeptical about any of the county's new ideas here. So definitely gonna sit that out for a while and see, watch the watch the cookie crumble, as they say.
Okay. And as far as the other things vying for your time, there's nothing really on the local civic landscape or regional or state that you're involved. You're not a precinct chairperson, are you?
I'm a PCP, but I don't do too darn much.
Oh,
except file every couple of years.
so you are a PCP. Well, very good. I can only guess which color flag you operate under. Virginia.
I just wanted to add that, yes, I have an audience and a following with the Cedar Mill News, and I've been dealing with issues, Facebook issues about public versus private groups. But I would suggest that all of you, if you don't already have one, I know we all love to hate Facebook, but it's there. And if you create, and I recommend a private group, but not hidden, for your community, it's a place where people can talk about community issues, including development. I know that our local group grew tremendously, legitimate growth, when we had the big ice and windstorm and trees were falling and power was going out. But it continues to be a source of community information and a place to post updates. So, I mean, I'd be happy to give anyone tips. I've learned so much, and it takes varying amounts of time to maintain it and keep it local. But I'd advise people to give that a try. And
So
like
what
I said,
Virginia is saying really has a lot of value, and those of us that have Facebook groups could think about how we want to rename the Facebook group, because you can easily just go into the admin function and change the name of the group. And so rather than losing all of the people that have been following you, create just changing the name. I mean, like CPO1, we actually have a kiosk at the Cedar Mill Library. And so I think that rather than just deleting the CPO1 kiosk, we're going to rename it the Cedar Mill kiosk. And
Hi.
so, so keeping the following that we've created. Yeah. Oh, so, very good.
That's just what I was going to say. I'm sorry. Carry on with your.
Okay, and so Ben,
Great.
anybody else from CPO3 online here?
Hello.
Stan, are you CPO3? I guess so.
I'm-
Come on. Well, yeah, what is your plans post CPO?
Well, mine is, since I'm the admin for the garden home area next door,
Well,
is to bring that to the front and make it a more prominent position in regards to our area to address a lot of these issues. And interestingly, because I received directly from the county the developments that are in the CPO3 area, I have not received anything that is saying this is going to be stopped or diminished or in any way, shape, or form. So I still will be receiving these particular pieces so that I can just, instead of it being a 500-foot range, it'll be five 50,000-foot range that these things can be uh, sent out.
so you're referring to using your plan is to use Nextdoor as the um, context for your community outreach.
Yes.
And what's the
Uh,
name of your Nextdoor group again?
it's Garden Home.
Oh, just Garden Home.
Yeah,
What a
but
lovely name. Garden Home. That's a beautiful name.
yes, I've always enjoyed living here, and it has an apt aspect to to that
It
name.
does. As somebody who grew up in Forest Grove, I can relate to having like two elements, garden and home. That's like cool.
Yeah. And
Mary, what are you thinking?
So one of the questions I have that remain unanswered is, will there be representatives of each of the CPOs that will still receive those notices? Or are we going to have to go, directly to the website and, fish in the website to find out about notices and land use applications? And one of the problems, and it's been an ongoing problem since September, since they did an update to Acela. We used to be able to get copies of public notices and staff reports off of Acela, but apparently they did an update and they've lost that capability. And so I continue to ask questions, is IT actually working on this, or will we, be in the dark? But I think, that really is one unanswered question that we have is, will we still get the notices mailed, or is there a possibility of getting notices mailed?
Or what is the structure for sending out development application notices? And it could be that that they will only go to people within 500 feet. And then the community outreach will just be cut off. We don't know. San, you're waving your hand.
well, I do believe that we one at least one of us in our group, four of us in our group, needs to be part of this so that we can at least forward th this type of information out.
So do you think you would find yourself volunteering for one of the four?
If no one else, then if no one else will do this, yes, because I believe we need to be still representing our communities.
But would it
And I
be,
don't care, and I don't care if you like this or hate this or anything. We need at least, if it's going to be broken up into 4 zones, at least four of us need to be representing because we still are the experts in our areas, more so than the
That
county ever will be.
Well, yeah, and the county, I mean, it would be, I mean, the planning commission only deals with long-range planning. They don't deal with any development or permitting. So the question is, a large question is, who receives the development applications, and is that necessary even for the county to do? I mean, they could simplify their lives if they didn't send the development applications out.
Okay, so
Okay.
would we not demand that in
We
this?
are in no position to demand anything. The idea that we can command the county to do something is long gone.
In spite of the actual design of the program? Are we
Design which
absolutely certain? Are we absolutely certain? That's the only question I have beyond your request right now. Are we absolutely certain? That's my only question.
well, the CPO program is gone.
Yes,
So
we're still
anything
CCI.
asked all we are individual citizens at this point asking for accommodation. Not to
Well,
burst
I'm
bubble.
looking at the WCCCI and public interactions with LUT, and one of the things is public and CCI reviews land use ordinances and staff reports. Isn't that not what
Well,
we?
yeah, but um the county ha has not been following the CCI bylaws for quite a number of years. And so there's no reason to think that the county is going to start assigning people to follow the CCI bylaws. And so all that's, in my mind, we're better off if we just think it's all gone. And what do we do next? And so
Okay.
you would consider being, I think it's wonderful. It's wonderful, and you would be a good person. I'm going to find the commissioner district map as we go through this, put it up to discuss. So let's move on to CPO 3, CPO 4. What do you got? 4B is not here. 4K. Anybody from
Jim
CPO 4?
Long,
4K? I don't see. So Jim, CPO 4M. Why don't you?
4M. Well, I'm turning on my picture here so you can see me. I expect to be very appealing, providing oversight. Our Significant Natural Resource Committee continues to want to meet in one fashion or another.
Uh-huh.
I'll be very busy with other civic activities. I always have been.
County level?
I have, I see Virginia, I have double vision. Virginia's on here twice. At the county level, at the state level, at the federal level, at the city level, I've had some effect on things there. I'll continue, but I am going to retire. I'm going to go to Les Schwab, and I got to retire.
So your mailing list for the SNR will keep that group going.
I have a Zoom Pro account, and we can keep going.
Okay.
We're interested in wildlife habitat and protecting things, and seeing as the county has not been doing things that they should be, including an event today up on Cooper Mountain that Nancy can talk about later. They aren't really following what they were supposed to be following, particularly with this new code enforcement, the enforcement order that happened, and they're not, enforcing things and doing things up to code. So there's plenty to be done. How long it goes, it depends. We need to get some younger people interested in some of this too.
No kidding. Okay, CPO 4M. Thank you. Is anybody else from 4M that I'm missing? Oh, Jill.
Yes. Hi, you guys. Yes, the county sent me a notice that said, do you want us to send you the development applications? And they asked for a check, and so I mailed them a check. So I do get the development applications in the mail, but I think I'll be working with Jim and being local. As far, I'm on the SNR subcommittee, and I'd like to stay active with doing that. And I do get the applications in the mail.
Let me
So
ask, the application that you get, is that a result of filling out the form that comes with the property tax statement and paying the money and?
no, it's a
Huh.
separate form that comes. It's not related to my taxes.
Well, if
That,
if you turn the thing over, you can sign a thing and submit it and
yeah.
pay some money and get the I think comprehensive plan level stuff, but you actually have arranged to get development applications?
For
Yeah,
what area?
just for my local area.
Hmm. Because I'd love to hear more about that. That's what I was going to suggest, that the county set up mailing lists that
That's a good
people can,
idea.
yeah, that people can subscribe to for what formerly was their CPO. I don't.
Do you suppose you could find some site on the county website that um that provides the sign up function for that?
I'll see what I can do.
Or send us that
Yeah,
invitation that you got.
yeah. So I think you all got an email from me yesterday providing you with materials for this meeting. So you could just reply to that.
Okay, I'll see what I can dig up.
Wonderful. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
CPO 4, CPO 5, CPO
Hey, Bruce.
6. Oh, owner. All I see is owner.
Um, I
Oh,
haven't figured
Gretchen.
out how to get my name on this new computer. Um,
Okay, well, hi, Gretchen.
Welcome, Gretchen.
Let's see here. You turned yourself off. You're
She
muted.
muted herself.
There we
well,
are. No,
it
yeah,
did
no.
it. It did it. I have to take it in. I can't get my camera to work.
Okay.
As I have been evicted from the CPO. I'm not directly involved. But as the planning commissioner
For
chair, I'm
King
certainly
City.
concerned, yes, for the city, but it includes, oh, thank you, whoever did that. I'm hearing about everything that's going on in our area in the county.
Yeah, I bet you do.
And I certainly would like to be involved. I'll still have to figure out my bandwidth ability, but and of course my computer issues now with my hands.
Yeah,
But
dang.
I am concerned in what's going on down here. The latest I told Bruce, but the latest is the entire unincorporated area that's not in the city yet has filed a petition with Metro to be withdrawn from the urban growth boundary. And my assumption is they're going to try to use the Damascus situation as background, but
Yeah, they aren't really
I don't
the
think they
same.
have a prayer of a chance. I've heard already, but anyway,
I
things
don't,
Should we
continue to
pray?
be a mess down here. And the current CPO leadership is leading that fight.
oh, the CPO leadership. So it's interesting. As I said earlier, we have absolutely no power. So acting like we have power causes a kind of tough attitude that in the end did not get us much. It got the
Well, the
CPO program
leadership is the
canceled.
ones that signed the petition. That's terrible grammar. Leadership members signed the petition, with the exception of Kathy, who is still outside of the urban growth boundary. I'm not quite sure how she managed to do that, but her property is not in the UGB.
That would be Kathy Stallkamp, previous
Mhm.
CCI member.
Mhm.
So UGB withdrawal. I don't think that the Damascus land got withdrawn from the UGB. It
Yes, it
simply
did.
it got withdrawn from the UGB rather than just eliminating
Yes,
the governance structure.
yes. because there was absolutely no infrastructure available anywhere around it, which is,
Well-
is not the case with our area. And anyway,
Anybody want to take bets on how successful that withdrawal effort will be?
Yeah, I'll take a bet.
You think it will be?
Yeah.
I hope so.
Well, you
Yeah,
hope
the
so, but
infra-
would you put $10 on it?
Yeah.
I don't know
Bruce-
about 10, but
Yeah.
100?
sure.
I mean-
Bruce, that infrastructure, especially transportation in that area, is overloaded, overburdened, absolutely at a standstill.
Well, no,
So,
that's a good point.
I think
make
that
for
more
withdrawing it.
development in that area of Southwest Washington County, it should be stopped until the infrastructure is brought up to par.
And yet the
none of
people
that
are,
area has to develop. Not 1 acre of that area needs to develop. It's up to the property owners if and when they want to develop. Fran,
Now, I understand, Gretchen, you and I are on the opposite ends of the spectrum on this particular issue, so I'm just giving my opinion. Bruce asked us how we
Yeah.
felt, and I just wanted to mention, because since at least 2004, I have been trying to get the infrastructure, especially the transportation infrastructure, improved in that area before all of this development happened.
you and I are on the same side. I have been fighting, and Washington County has deferred in large part doing much transportation work down here.
well, it kind
So
of
the
falls
question on
to
the table
Beaverton.
that Bruce,
I mean,
Yeah.
it falls to the cities in some extent because you have to annex the land to a city before you can develop it. And so then anything in that area is the responsibility of the city unless there is a county road. And the county has demonstrated it's more than willing to deal with arterial roads. I mean, if you look at Roy Rogers Road, that was a ghastly nightmare 10, 15 years ago, but they have done the county has done a remarkable job in making Roy Rogers Road into what the ring road completion, as it's pejoratively called, the West Side Bypass. Roy Rogers Road is what the West Side Bypass should have been.
Half of Beef Bend is still exactly in the same shape it was 50 years ago.
Right. And
And
that's
the
Beaverton's
county has
responsibility.
we have no control. These are all county roads. We have put requests in. We have had, at the latest I heard was they weren't even thinking about putting it on the MSTIP until 2040. That I'm
Okay.
trying to give you a clear understanding of how low a profile, even though this is quote unquote a major arterial, it's not a high priority.
Well, I
can we
agree.
get
And
back to Bruce's original agenda?
yes, so
Anyway,
where will we have these exciting conversations if we don't have a CCI? Okay, so CPO 4K, CPO 5, CPO 6. Who is CPO 6 here? Is anybody? Oh, Ken Seymour. Howdy,
Yes.
Mr. Transportation Subcommittee Chair.
Right. Yeah, that and the SNR was something that actually, Nancy and I have been talking about what we're going to be doing here, and we're both still kind of trying to formulate. And I'll let
Nancy
speak.
Fletcher, right?
Yeah, Nancy Fletcher. She's
okay.
on here. I'll let her address a few
Oh,
things
yes.
after I'm done. But we've both been talking about what we can do later on, and we're still kind of putting our heads together. We still have another member in our steering committee that is interested in continuing to help out formulate what we're doing with the direction of trying to incorporate or doing a study with the Aloha project. So,
Well, I wish you luck.
yes, thank you.
So you're still meeting at the Aloha Library, correct?
Well, technically, yes, but we haven't had a physical meeting there. I think it was January we had one.
Oh.
But we're not going to do a meeting in April, actually March, but our last CPO meeting was February. So
Okay.
I think kind of we're still kind of formulating what we're going to do, what direction we're going. We do know that, Commissioner Fye, we're in her area. She's also always expressed an interest in supporting the Saloa project.
Mm,
So, we kind of feel like, well, we got to keep our fingers in the pie.
right. Well, and you got to give Commissioner Fye credit
Yeah.
for being aghast at the slaughter of the CPO at the board meeting. It was like, wow,
Right.
I mean, at
The
least
one we went
somebody.
to.
And
Yeah.
and Pam Treese was kind of like gently on the side of the CPOs. But Commissioner Fye continues to provide the most citizen outreach of any of the commissioners.
Mm-hmm.
And so would you consider being the
Yeah, I'd consider. My
commissioner
feeling
district
is
representative?
if we don't do something now, it might be really hard for us to get back in later.
That's true.
So, you know, how do we get in now? I don't know yet. I don't know how that's going to work. If it doesn't happen, that's fine. But I think there's a few people in our CPO that are interested in at least exploring where we go next.
Cool.
So, the only other thing I was going to bring up real quick, and I'm not here to promote necessarily, but our ham radio club runs KQRZ, a radio station. So we've been thinking of actually trying to formulate a program maybe on weekends just with information on what's going on in Washington County.
Uh-huh.
We haven't gotten very far on that project. It's nothing to be political. It's just let's bring out the facts of what's going on, development kind of news, things like that. So
Yeah.
that's one thing that we're kind of looking at on the side.
So you would use a ham radio channel to do that?
No, it's a broadcast over the radio.
Oh, what's the number?
We're on the air now. It's KQRZ. We play oldies right now. It's oldies radio station.
KQRZ, and that's the
KQRZ.
thing.
Yeah.
KPRK. What's the call letters in back of you?
Oh, that's something else. That's an old radio station in Montana.
KQRZ.
Yeah.
What number is that?
Well, we're 96.7, and in Tigard we come in really good on 100.7.
Is there an are you KQRZ.FM? Are you do you
These are
Yeah, we're
FM.
licensed by the FCC to
and you
run as
go and you go over the FM. So
Yeah,
if you
we're
go
over-
KQRZ.FM, you would find the channel.
If you turn it on your car, you'll pick us up probably.
Oh,
So
I like this idea. This is astounding. We need more of this.
yeah, I mean, the whole purpose of this license when we acquired it years ago, it's been over 10 years now, but we're supposed to be community service station, right? And we're a nonprofit. So, we've just, for the last 10 years, we've been playing oldies and, some comedy bits, things like that, and some ham radio news. But, we want to expand and try and get some more information out about what's going on in the county. So, like I said, it's not political. We're not going to get into politics necessarily. It's just that here's the land use thing going on, or just whatever we can find somebody to do that program. So,
well, when you talk about things going on in the community, you have all the service districts that have
Yeah.
used the ZPO system to share updates. And I remember the Chair Harrington was pretty adamant that the new system is going to focus on county-wide issues and is not going to confuse people by having service districts talk about their activities. And this was at a work session kind of quickly stated, but there's, I think, a huge need in the population to let people know what's going on with their fire and rescue, with their, with their water, with their, all this. And so I think we're all kind of nodding our heads and going, wow, we didn't know that you were doing all that. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, you know, there's a lot of infrastructure that has to happen first. So, but it's on the radar. We've been thinking about doing this for probably 9 months now, but we know we need to find somebody to research and get information and put a team together. So, and then someone's got to produce the show and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, I'll let Nancy, if she wants to comment on
Well,
anything.
Nancy, why don't you take the talking stick here next?
Okay. So yeah, one of your questions, would anybody be interested in, is it just 4 positions or is it 4 positions per commissioner?
No. It's one position. I mean, we don't know because the hidden texts have not been open and revealed to us yet.
Yeah, we
But
really don't know. It says representatives from the community will be working with staff. So we don't know how many and to what degree those representatives would have any kind of autonomy or power at all.
Well, the bigger issue is how many are there going to be? And I think that for the purposes of discussion, it's 4, 1 per each commissioner district. The RNO that dismantled the CPO program was pretty clear that it's 1 group per commissioner district, which is fine if the commissioners actually show up to their meeting. You have to sober up, and I mean, you have to be willing to show up for that.
Okay, so with that being said, there's a possibility I'd be interested. I feel the same way that Stan mentioned, that we have to stay involved, that, we need people in there. If I'm not going to compete with, if somebody steps up and they really want it and they've been doing your group for 20 years, then I'll be their support person on the side. I'll just be one of those people, but I plan to kind of continue and to support where I can.
Well,
So nothing's out of the question for me. I'm just, yeah.
And you certainly are active in the middle housing issues going on Cooper Mountain.
Yeah, I live there, so yeah, that's in my neighborhood. But it's been very educational. I mean, then I can help others. That's how I see it. I'm learning like a checklist from here forward, what to watch out for.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah, I think if anything, whoever the 4 are, we need to be the eyes and ears and broadcasters. And I'm going to vie for the FM sounding voice of KQRZ.
There's your yeah. There's your
Sorry.
star show DJ guy.
A little humor,
Podcast is
just to
another
lighten the
It's the
load.
Stanley Show.
The Stanley Show. I like it. Let's do it.
Podcasting is another option, which I understand, has fairly low overhead if you get one of those apps, but the overhead and engagement is something else.
Okay, I'm distracted
Kevin.
by something. Okay. Let's keep going here. CPO 6, CPO 7.
That would be me.
That would be.
And I have a real hard time saying I want to be engaged in something when I don't know what something is. And being someone who's been more focused on land use than on quality of life issues, I may lean toward being more engaged with the Planning Commission. I would really like to see Planning Commission take on more responsibility than just long-range planning. I think I was really disappointed in Sadie Carney's response to the question about dismantling the CPO program, because they don't seem to understand that implementation of the plan really is part of the planning process.
Yeah.
And I think what we're going through with middle housing right now is a really good example of how implementation can go awry. And some of the problems we're having with middle housing right now is an indication that they need to go back to the drawing board and they need to do more work to adopt new plans or adopt changes. And it was a real disappointment to me that Sadie Kearney took the position that she did, that only, plan development and adoption of the plan is all that is involved with goal one. So I think I have to be kind of wait and see. I've been trying to feed information to OAO, to Stephen Roberts, to Ann Ober. When I do something that's, as a CPO leader, that's something besides just setting up the monthly meeting.
Yeah.
So today I sent them copies of a letter that City of Hillsborough reached out to us. They're applying for a grant, or actually it's Washington County is applying for a grant, but they're working in conjunction with City of Hillsborough, and City of Hillsborough reached out to our CPO to see if we would write a letter of support for the grant application. So, does OAO have any idea that that sort of thing happens? We also are in the middle of an appeal, getting ready for an appeal that's happening on Thursday. Middle Housing and CPO 6 had Middle Housing where they processed the entire application as a type 1, even though there were type 2 elements of it. Our CPO, they took one application and split it into two types, type 1, type 2. Type 1 was just the staff approval of the Middle Housing project, and type 2 was for the impacts to wetlands and the floodplain. And it's like, no, it is one action. You can't have Middle Housing approved without having the impacts on the water areas handled. And you can't have, you have a question, Stan?
Yes. So isn't this whole process that with all this change, honestly, is it not just so they can streamline and push through all of the things?
Middle Housing? Well,
everything. I mean, isn't that what this whole process is? This changing of us, the guards, is doing is just.
But when they're doing things wrong, when they
don't
approve
care
projects,
right?
Well,
but they don't care.
Well, but they still have to follow code. And one of the rules that the CPO has always played is, we're the watchdogs. We're staff gets a little lazy sometimes. Staff. I mean, the whole SNR. It's like, well, this is the way we've always done it, so we're just going to continue to do it. And it takes the CPO stepping forward and saying, no, this is wrong. And, it means appeals. It means having to really enforce or to require staff to actually follow the rules that are on the books. And if staff doesn't like the rules, then the rules need to be changed. But the rules are there and the rules need to be followed.
I agree.
Yeah, Mary, years ago, these developers would have 3 developments that they wanted to do, and then they would apply and do the TIA for a single development first, and then a second one, and then a third one. They never did the whole thing. They would do it piecemeal, just like you said.
Yeah.
And then they were never responsible for, they were only responsible for the roads within that small development and not the impact on the entire county. And I talked to Stephen about that. We got that changed. The Middle Housing you described is precisely the same thing. If they break it into a bunch of little pieces, then they're not accountable for what the total impact is to the county. So
Absolutely.
we've got to stop that piecemeal.
But, is there a way to go back to the state and to Sadie Kearney to say, we don't agree with what you said? Is that something that's possible?
Well,
Our next meeting is on the 27th, February 27th. And it's an open meeting. I know Bruce has spoken in the past, so I will send out the information about it. I'll put it in I can't put it in the chat. I'll send it to Bruce.
Meeting?
I believe it's February 27th, if I remember correctly. I'll put it, I'll I'll send it to you right now.
What meeting
Yeah,
are you talking about?
Yeah,
SiAC,
yeah.
Sadie Kern.
Oh. Yes.
Virginia has a question or comment.
Virginia, your hand is up.
Thank you. Yes. Well, you all know I'm a conspiracy theorist, but this is how I see things going at the moment. The developers and real estate people want more control. They want less regulation. They have sold the governor and some of the state legislators on the value of growth. And I'm not saying that this group is anti-growth, but I think we're oriented towards smart growth. And there's a general state movement towards permissiveness. Middle housing is one example. And in our county, and I just learned that the Emerge group, which promotes women in local politics, that they teach them how to find the money. Well, the money is in the developers and the real estate people and those who want growth. And
Yep,
the county jumped on that because there are enough people in the administration that see which side their bread is buttered on, and that we're faced with a rather huge coalition. I'm not going to call it a conspiracy.
Well, economic development is economic development.
Well, yes, but
let's bring it back.
Let me say one more thing. That economic growth is a value that we need to question.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm sharing the so we had a dialogue with Sadie Carney, who is the committee for the Community Involvement Advisory Committee for DLCD, Department of Land Use, Conservation and Development, who oversees the public involvement programs around the state. And this is the conclusion that she offered us, that Goal 1 only applies to long-range planning, not permitting or development. And that is the uphill battle that anybody that wants to challenge development approvals is going to have to fight. And
well, we still have elections. And I just want to plug that CPO1 is doing an election forum at our March meeting as our exit denouement.
Okay, let's Jim, you got your hand up.
I put my hand up because Dick Smith has been having his hand up and you haven't recognized him. But I do completely agree, or I completely disagree with the statement that you just put up there. I don't think that's the intent that the legislators had back 50 years ago. Our forefathers and foremothers, including particularly Pat Whiting, who was from Metzger, they set out that Goal 1, and I don't think that's their intent. But let me take it over to Dick.
Okay, okay, Dick. Hi.
Well, somebody was mentioning that we sometimes throw some log jams into the works or a little sand in the gears. That's why they want to get rid of us. They have for years. They have never, in the last few years, wanted to hear from us or respected our input. So that's why they're doing this. Makes life a whole lot simpler for them.
It does.
So let's move along with our,
Yeah, so what's
Okay,
next?
so
How do we
CPO
continue
7,
being sand in the machine?
so CPO, I mean, so CPO 8, Dick, what CPO are you? 10?
yeah,
Okay, CPO 8's not here. CPO 9, CPO 10. So what do you plan on doing post CPO? You got the talking stick.
well, we're going to have monthly community meetings.
Now, Andy Haugen is your chair, right?
That is correct, and he's a go-getter.
He is. I want to say, Andy was acknowledged as a social studies teacher of the year for Oregon recently, wasn't he?
I believe so, yes. He's a wonderful person.
He is, and he's done marvelous agendas. But he got national recognition for his teaching skills.
Great. So we have all in the community decided we want to keep getting together. In the rural area, we don't have the development you folks have normally. So we don't have that battle to fight. I have moved on to a Water Resource Department committee down in Salem that I'm involved with pretty heavily, trying to change some irrigation and water laws. So that's what I'm focusing on. And I've been in this as long as you have, Bruce, and it's been, I've really missed the in-person meetings. That's one of the great failings I see with this organization is when we went to Zoom. We don't get to know you, everyone individually. You're just a picture on the that we really don't get the depth of knowledge of all the individuals. I really
Yeah.
miss that.
Yeah.
Our meetings with the Water Resource Department down in Salem, I make it a point to drive 50 miles each way to be there at the meeting, get to know these people. It was like when Andy Dyke was in charge of the BCC, we would get people from the office that would come to our meetings in person, and we would actually get to know these people. And we could make a subtle impact, if not a large impact, because we could pick up the phone and call them and they would know our name, we'd know theirs. We could chat with them, we could go into their office. And I miss that. So we're just going to do community meetings, and you guys can fight the planning commission and the developments and so forth that don't relate to us.
So how are you going to reach the people in the community that you want to reach?
Pick up a phone or stop at their front door and knock.
Well, no, that's not good enough. I mean, you're going to have to do some kind of email announcement to people to invite them.
No, we don't, Bruce.
You don't.
We're not a dense community like you are.
Well, that makes knocking on all the doors even harder.
Well, a couple of years ago, about 5 years ago, I was personally doing a water fight here over a transfer of a water right. I knocked on 80 doors, got 75 people to sign up on a petition that are all my neighbors. I know them all. I've got their phone numbers. We have enough people scattered throughout the community. We can get the word out. To hell with a computer. We don't need a radio station to do it.
It's all fine if you're not deaf.
Okay, very good.
Anyway, signing off.
Okay, CPO 10, CPO 11, CPO 12. CPO 12 was Forest Grove, which CPO 12F deactivated, and CPO 12C deactivated. Although Rob Sullivan, CPO 12C, said that he was going to continue doing some kind of civic engagement more through the city of Cornelius. And so that's very good. So Tree Keepers of Washington County, Mary Lou.
Okay, well, I didn't know how you wanted Fran and I to respond to your original, what are we going to do on Thursdays? But I'm part of CPO 1, or I was,
Okay.
but Tree Keepers of Washington County isn't going anywhere. I mean, we're not disbanding. We're still concerned about the tree loss. We're still concerned about development. I'm not going to stop going to neighborhood meetings or showing up to testify against something.
Mhm.
So,
And so Tree Keepers has their own email list, right?
yes.
Okay. I mean, this is important information to know, because once the county pulls the plug, we are not going to have easy access to the email lists.
That's right, and we're not going to necessarily get notices about neighborhood meetings unless we're in the 50-foot
Right. Well,
range.
the thing that that I've learned to do is, since the forest behind me went away, is I have learned to use the county website to find out things. And it isn't the easiest thing to find things, but you can find things and you can sign up for things so that you are sent these notifications, like the land use and transportation has several. And if you sign up for these things, then you get notices about what's going on. You get notices of the neighborhood meetings that are coming up. So I will not stop showing up at those neighborhood meetings.
Well, so is that because of your association with the CPO, or is that like Jill's? Was
No,
that
no,
independent?
It's just
Mary Lou?
it's just going on the website and looking
Mary
it
Lou?
up and sign.
I would advise you to post in your group that if anybody in the group gets a notice of a neighborhood meeting, to let you know, because I will not be getting those as far as I know.
No, I get them. In
Yes,
other words,
but you only get them if they're within your neighborhood.
no, I'm getting them anywhere in the county.
Neighborhood meeting announcement?
Yes.
So
Wow.
this is what so this is something that is interesting to me as a way of
Yeah, if
This
you
is the hard
sign
work
up,
that Mary Lou's been doing, is she goes through all that stuff. Yeah.
if you sign up for, the weekly land use and transportation bulletin thing,
yeah.
down
Right.
down at the bottom of it, it says neighborhood meetings.
This is
And
true.
and if there are
Okay.
any neighborhood meetings coming up, they're there with the date, with where it
Okay.
is,
Yeah.
with who to contact
Right.
and all that. And thank God a lot of them are still on Zoom because it's a little hard for me to get to some outpost somewhere in the far county somewhere since I live in the far east of the county.
Yeah.
But at least I know who to contact, you know. And so so the middle housing thing is another thing that just drives me crazy. And so there are no neighborhood meetings. So I I resort to things like going to the section on the county website that says projects under review because I don't want to miss something that's been approved and I don't know about it because it wasn't posted anywhere and there were no neighborhood meetings. So if you go to projects under review, at least you can find some project that maybe you've heard about that might be middle housing. And so that I just hope that somehow or other somebody at the state level gets a grip on this middle housing thing, because I get the reason for wanting this type of housing. What I don't get is applying it in some rural chunk of the county that it doesn't fit in at all. You know, it needs to be like in Portland infill or Beaverton infill, where there's a lot here and there and that could have, you know, 2 or 3 units on it or something. But this business of buying
70.
up a chunk of land, you know, somewhere where it's a beautiful area and then cramming in a bazillion units and chopping down all the trees is ridiculous.
So do you
So,
think you would be inclined to submit an application to be a leader in one of the commissioner district?
no, because it
Okay.
would it would be a commission. It would be two, and there's too many people that know far more than I do and have
Okay.
far more
So
time.
we got Jim, you got your hand raised.
Well, I just wanted to keep moving on. I think Ayla of CPO 14.
Well, yeah,
may
we're not
have
done
another
yet.
thing to
Don't
talk.
worry.
But
Don't
I have,
worry.
okay, I have some things to say. I have the agenda for the Planning Commission tomorrow. And under public communication, it allows 10 minutes per authorized representative of a community participation organization. So we still exist. It's still something that's there. And I will likely to take advantage of speaking before the Planning Commission tomorrow.
Good. Okay, CPO 12,
Wait, can I finish the
13.
tree keepers? Can I finish? Can
Sure.
I finish?
Oh, sure.
Okay. Two things. This cumulative knowledge that we have about how to make our way through the land use and transportation maze, as you know, the process, some of the things that you did, those diagrams, the things that Mary Lou just described would be a great recording to play periodically on KQRZ or a podcast, because we actually do have like a user manual, or we've done helpful information, whatever you want to call it. But Mary Lou does spend a lot of time there. The key thing is, she said, we have Tree Keepers, which has a website. We have about 1,000 people on our contact list, and we do webinars. So it's conceivable that if we have a webinar that is related to land use and trees, then that would be a really good one to do. All our webinars are recorded and archived. Matter of fact, we're having another one tomorrow night.
All right. Very good. I like that. So yes, we do have a fair bit of accumulated land use
And
knowledge
yeah,
here. And we'll see if the county has any perception of that as value, or if we're just disposable, go away. We'll find out.
that's their
So,
problem. So I
okay.
was going to say what Fran's going to do. Can I just finish?
Yes.
That is, I'm going to do my best to work with LUT on the things like the work plan. I still want to comment on it, and it may be as an individual, and read the policy stuff that they do, the development codes. Of course, Mary is much more attuned, but I will do that, and I will regain the SNR subcommittee stuff. It's 7 a.m. here in Hawaii, and I'm always missing that meeting. So, okay. Anyway, that's what my 2 cents.
Well, thank you, Fran, and I appreciate your devotion. I think that brings us to CPO 14. And that would be Ms. Ayla Hoffler.
Yeah, aloha. So it's great seeing all of you tonight and listening to your plans. CPO 14 voted to stay in existence as a local community meeting place. Since CPO, the name has now been disbanded, we will keep ours.
Are you going to keep
I'm
calling
changing-
the group CPO 14?
Oh, I'm changing it to 13. I've asked for 2 years to be changed to 13 to match my fire district and my school district. So now I finally get a chance to change my name to
But you're going to
CPO
keep, you're not going to give it a more down home kind of name.
Well, for now, we're just seeing.
Okay.
I'm going to sit tight. My immediate plans is to go testify against Senate Bill 1586 tomorrow, which is the land taking of 1,700 farm acres to make a database. And that's the very reason why we have to keep existing. And we have never been respected the minute we left the extension service. And that's just been a downhill race to disband us. And you might as well just accept the fact that we are going to have to reorganize as independent people in this county. We need to be adopted by an entity that has clout, perhaps legal backbone, attorneys at our access, looking to get us adopted right now by that type of a organization.
Any
They're
candidates?
affiliated with they're associated with Lewis and Clark, and they have a land use strand of their education for their lawyers, and we might be the perfect fit for them to have their practicum by setting up CPOs. And that means we would reorganize and get together in person and talk about boundaries that make sense, have the CPOs adopt their cities, be encouraged to have a liaison with them, a whole different way of looking at it that I think will be more comprehensive and strengthen us, not weaken us. And it means that we still would be all connected. We would have legal clout to start mandating that no, citizen participation is just not about long range planning. Whoever came up with that garbage? We are supposed to be on the scene the minute an application crosses the desk and they give them the check. You should know within 48 hours that an application is happening in your area, and anything less than that is BS. So we have to start asking to be legally represented and recognized by the county. And if they don't like it, they can have their ass sued every month. I want to stay with our significant natural resource committee. They are amazing. They bring so much to the table to look at what kind of overlays are lacking, whether it's historical overlay, urban forest overlay, wetlands. This county does not care about environment. If you think they do, you're crazy. They will destroy anything for the dollar. Their economic development plan is only urbanization. I went to the Chamber of Commerce with my position as a candidate for commissioner, wanted to talk about agricultural economic development, and they looked like I was stupid. They have no recognition of what farmers can do, what wineries can do, what permanent farmer market can do. They just have no idea what it means to have agro-tourism and bring money that is healthy for our county and maintains rural life and urban life in compatible ways. We have to get away from the umbrella of the county, period. I'm glad they're abandoning us. And I don't know if there's any other CPO in District 4 that's existing. I don't think there is. 8's
I don't think
abandoned.
so.
13, I don't know about 8, but 13 is abandoned. I'd like to just adopt them, not just because they have my number, but we are the same people. But
So
if I volunteered to be a representative for District 4, I can tell you that they will never appoint me. Never. I've been trying to get appointed to the Planning Commission for 4 years, and they don't ever take me. I've asked to be appointed to Colpac to represent Washington County, which we've had a position open for 2.5 years. They won't appoint me. This is so politically contaminated. It's a disaster, you guys. If you think that they care about land use and preserving our county with all this balance, believe me, it's untrue.
So you're
They
still
don't want
meeting,
us to know.
you're meeting at the bank's library, are you not?
Not anymore. We are
Oh.
meeting at the historical building, the Boy Scouts log cabin in Banks on Main Street.
Oh, so, but if you needed to meet at the library, you'd be welcome to meet there?
Oh, we would, but I'd rather give my money to the Historical Society. We are set up now for Zoom, and we're high tech now. Mhm.
That's that little log cabin set back a little bit off the
That's right. It should be recognized as a historical overlay, and the city won't do it. And there's a good example why CPOs should be involved with their cities and say, "What are you doing?" We just lost a 1920 beautiful historic Union High School. The first Union High School in Washington County just got gutted by an excavator last week. And guess what? We just had it approved by the National SHPO National SHPO to recognize it as a national heritage historical site, and they tore it down the back of it a week before they knew that meeting was coming, because they think in the school district of Banks that economic development and having a brand new school is what's important, not our history and our heritage. So we're far reaching in what CPOs are supposed to be paying attention to, and I think it's exciting. And I also, Richard Smith, are you with us still? I need to talk to you because I'm also fighting irrigation transfer water rights, and they're
He's not.
giving me a bunch of BS. I'll find him.
Yep.
We worked together for years, 30 years ago.
Okay.
So,
well, thank you.
that's what I'm saying. We're sticking together. I'm fighting Senate Bill 1586. If you want to testify tomorrow at 8 a.m., come with me, because we need to stop that puppy now. And
All right.
yeah, vote for Ayla, May 19th.
Okay. Jim.
Just to further what Ayla said, I'm a supporter of the Significant Natural Resources Land Use Committee this morning unanimously supported asking this CCI to oppose that bill about data centers. And, we want crops, we don't want data centers. So I'd like to make a motion that this group still take action. We're still a working group, that we actually do something and register something. I know that some people say that CCI is only supposed to work on county issues. This is a real county issue. Protecting the farmland is a really important deal, and we should protect it, or we should step up and protect it. I think it would be good for the CCI historically to say that we did something here in the last minutes.
I'll second that.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Can we have a discussion first, though?
Yeah.
Sure.
So the hearing is tomorrow?
Yes, 8 a.m.
One hearing is tomorrow.
But
1586 down in Salem.
We won't have time to write a letter, so can we authorize Jim to speak on it?
Yes, I was going to say that since Jim is on it, why don't we have a motion and vote to have Jim be the Washington County CCI rep presenting that position?
That was what my motion was, or that's what I seconded.
Okay. So I was just reiterating it, I guess. And so let's have a vote on supporting it. And okay.
What time is the hearing tomorrow?
John managed to disconnect me from the meeting, and I completely missed what the resolution was.
You're for
Jim's
it.
going to represent us with testimony tomorrow. Oh, you can turn it in now, actually, online. You can sign up for Zoom testimony. I'll be going in person.
8, 9. Ben, you on board with that, or?
I'm sorry, I don't.
So, Virginia,
Well,
there's a hearing tomorrow for a data center.
All right.
Land grab.
Okay,
Yeah.
14 for anybody opposed? I didn't think so. Okay, so it's 14-0. We are approving Jim to represent the CCI about 15, what was it?
1586.
1580, Senate Bill 1586. And I would point out that our Senator Weber and our Representative Darcy Edwards both have endorsed this.
Yeah.
I'm just
Well.
shocked. I'm just shocked. I helped both those people get elected.
Well, you know, it's unfortunate if any single issue causes a change in your overall support, because you know, the next time something comes around, you might be on the same side of something.
Well, I helped them. I've helped them, and I went down and talked to them last week and asked them, please teach me, did I miss something? Is there something you know that I don't, that this is a benefit to Washington County? And none, even Kim Thatcher, who I know well, and none of them could give me a straight answer. They just drank the Kool-Aid on what was presented to them by Salman. And, you know, unfortunately, Darcy's a realtor, you know, and Senator Weber lives in Tillamook. So I'm sorry, I don't think they should have had any say in it. They don't live here. They're not,
Okay,
you know, they're not.
so thank you. I hope that it works out for the good of the community overall. I'd like to move along. Does anybody have any more comments they'd like to make regarding what they intend to be working on post CPO? So there's two components to this CPO program. One is the CCI land use focused part, and the other is the community engagement part. And for the most part, we've been talking about community engagement, although it inevitably involves the development side of things. So I want to share a graphic that Mary and I have developed. And I sent it out yesterday with the updated information, since it wasn't linked. The link in the full agenda was not active, so you couldn't see it that way. So I assume you've all like studied this and updated it. But we got plan development, which is kind of the traditional planning commission function on the left side. Can you see if I move my cursor around, do you see it?
Yes.
Okay, so planning commission, historically, public and CCI made comments to the planning commission, and then the planning commission interacts with long-range planning. And long-range planning has technical advisory committees and whatever CAC stands for, and open houses and stuff.
Citizen advisory committee.
Citizen advisory.
Or community advisory committee.
Right. And so we, Mary and I tried to put together a draft of what the CPOs and CCI did in addition to that. And so there's plan adoption, and we certainly are able to review ordinances and staff reports. And in that way, through neighborhood meetings and through development application updates, we reach out to the public. Moving on to the right side, the plan implementation, we have here the development review of community development. And the CPO leaders receive the land use notifications, development applications, and share them with the neighbors. And the neighbors then will also sometimes learn about things. And so we've worked together to represent the community interest in development applications. And so it's the entire, and then out of the development review, we get buildings. There's buildings that result from our work right there. And so this is what I'd like to do with this is to provide it to LUT that as they are figuring out what the CCI, how to integrate the CCI into the Planning Commission and into LUT in general, is providing people with an opportunity to do development review something they want to facilitate. And so that's kind of the question on the table. Any arrows that you think are misplaced or need to be added, I would be very interested in getting your opinion. And with that, let's see what Fran has to say.
Yeah,
Fran.
so I didn't know where to put this, but I felt that in the past we've been effective in the LUT work plan. Because right now you have just buildings here, but it's also infrastructure like transportation, things like that. And we don't, so I think somehow, if not at the minimum, it would be buildings and or
That's the suggested refinements.
infrastructure.
That's where that comes in. The suggested refinements are where the work program or work plan comes in.
Well, there's that, and then what
But
about
on the far right where you have buildings? Wait, on the far right where you have buildings, it's sometimes buildings and transportation improvements or changes.
Yes.
Just like Mary, it's also sometimes it's sidewalks or whatever that are needed as part of the, development review. So I don't know. That's why I said it's infrastructure rather than just roads.
And it should include significant natural resource, SNR.
Well, but that's out of the development review. What comes out of development review? You get the approval for buildings and you get the approval for transportation.
Well, you could say buildings and infrastructure.
Infrastructure, because it's not just roads.
Or you could include all three: buildings, roads, and infrastructure.
Yeah.
It doesn't
And
fit in here.
Includes mitigation of natural resources. If you don't include that in there, it's just going to get lost.
Well, yes, but okay.
No place. And
so
that includes historical overlay. Development review is huge.
Right.
Okay.
But okay, so
I just don't see a
okay,
place
I
for
got an
those
idea.
things.
To keep the word short, Bruce, how about buildings, infrastructure, and mitigation?
Right. Because a lot of the neighborhood meetings that I went to resulted in the community telling the developers about conditions on the ground that the developers weren't aware of.
Right.
My deposit slip today.
I'm gonna just leave that. I'm gonna be fucking with it. Okay. So that comes out of development review.
Bruce?
Yes, ma'am.
With the box at the bottom that says neighborhood meetings?
Yes, ma'am.
That's the first thing that happens in the process. So it kind of bothers me that it's at the bottom. It comes before anything. It comes before
this whole flow goes up.
Oh, never mind.
I mean, I can appreciate that. But this diagram, we went around a little bit about how to depict it. And so these are functions rather than flow per se. And just it's to give LUT.
But also,
yes, ma'am. Was there a comment coming?
Oh, sorry. Also, the point is it goes left to right, high level plan development, plan adoption, then you get to the implementation. The neighborhood meetings don't come about until after the higher level plan is done, and then you start seeing individual developments.
Yeah. That's right. So now, I mean, what comes out of development review comes out of development review, and LUT is quite aware of what comes out of it. but to me, the meaningful part are these things right in here, and the CPO leaders getting the development applications, and then neighborhood community feedback going back to development review. That's the thing that I wanted to make sure that LUT knew was going on, so they can either ignore it, or they can say, we're going to create a portal somewhere where if you, I mean, and we've learned that you can sign up to receive notices about development applications. So that might be the thing to advertise that would do this. But I mean, the county should provide some direction to people in how they can interact with the system, in my opinion. Mary.
Well,
So Bruce, I think LUT understands the process. I
Yeah.
think where it's broken is OAO does not understand what we do besides our monthly meetings. And I
Well,
think
and-
it's
yeah.
something that's needed more for as they're having conversations with LUT, and LUT's saying, yeah, we can take a long range planning piece of it. The whole plan implementation seems to be forgotten. And
Yeah.
I don't think OAO understands that the plan implementation, whether it's the the review of the work program, or sending messages back to long range planning, this is not working, it needs to be fixed, like the
Right. Well,
SNR.
so my feeling is that the equity department, by whatever name it has, and now it's OAO, is not involved in this process. And so they don't know anything about it. They don't care, and they provide no useful function in this. It's all now going to land use and transportation.
But I don't know that land use and transportation understands that that's what OAO wants to do.
Well, OAO doesn't want to do anything except to get this off of their backs.
Yeah.
And so if we accept that OAO is not going to be a player long term in this, and that's I can't see why they would want to. They don't know anything and they don't contribute anything. So and they sure so this goes to LUT. This is what we've been doing. Do you care to maintain any shred of this, or are we just
On our
going
own?
to pack up our bags and go home? So
Yeah.
Mary,
In your dealing with Stephen Roberts, do you have any notion about whether he just wants to get the sand out of the machine, or whether he has
I have no idea.
No, I'm asking Mary.
I think what I'm worried about more than anything is LUT's budget. And if they take on more responsibility, is there actually going to be funding that goes to LUT to run an expanded planning commission program?
Right. Yeah, I'm very concerned about that. Because it keeps getting cut back and cut back and cut back.
Well, we will find out. I don't know. I mean, OAO is designing this system and is hiding all the details from us until some magical time later when it's going to be revealed.
We're supposed to find out more on March 3rd.
We'll find out more. Whatever, the whole history of OAO is there's a lot of wind up and very little pitch. I just looking back on what we've gotten out of the equity department, it is embarrassingly little that we've gotten, that substance we've gotten out of it. So I'm going to take it that we've sort of gone over this diagram enough. Stan?
I want to go back to the diagram because I want to combine two areas of it and align CCI, CPO efforts. in the middle is public and CCI
Yeah.
reviews, land use, blah, blah, blah. On the left below planning commission is public and CCI comments.
Yes.
I would like that to be one, 2-line box, just repeating the middle part.
Oh, so we can delete
And
that box
eliminate,
there.
yeah, so eliminate that, the one on the left, and broaden that, because that's really what we do in these beginning, in the plan development and in the plan adoption, is that's what we're doing. And then I want the CCI, CPO leaders, neighbors, all aligned. I want it to be CCI, CPO, neighbors, all solid, arranged, so that it has so it's a dominance of this is what we do. So that so I don't care all the other little boxes and stuff like that. That has very little meaning to me,
I've got to pay attention for next to have.
because I want to emphasize what it is that we do in our neighborhoods to make it such.
Great
Oh, we
idea.
do, yeah.
Yeah,
Great
okay.
idea.
Okay, that's a good idea. And
I don't like it.
You don't
I
like
don't
it?
like it because they're 3 separate processes. And actually, I would say we need to add a third box over in the plan development, because the CCI and the public is involved in the plan development. You're also involved in the plan adoption as well as the plan implementation. But I think
Okay, that's fine. I just want it so that all of what we do is all aligned,
in one line.
straight across, so that it shows our propensity of how we interact with every aspect of this thing. Instead of us, it's bounced around. It doesn't look, I want consistency, I guess, or I want it colorized or something so that it's punching what we do. Put us in blue or green or something pleasant, turquoise.
Well, okay, so
Red's too aggressive.
Red's too aggressive for what we do?
No, not what the others do.
We need a nonpartisan color.
Oh, look at red and blue. Yeah.
No, CPOs should be green. We're a green organization.
Yes.
Good
We
God.
should be,
They call it grassroots. Yeah, grass is green.
yes. There you go. Ayla, you are striking on, I'm amazed with all what you have been saying tonight.
Okay.
Well, Stanley, I want to stay with the radio. I want to stay with the whole enchilada, man. We're gonna make this work, and this still seems like it's broken up. I mean, I'm with you, but I'm waiting to see what the colors do for me if I'm
Okay,
happy.
so Mary,
Okay.
you were talking about another box over here on this side,
Yeah.
connecting what to what?
Well, so you've got the under planning commission, you have public and CCI comments.
That should be green.
That needs to be green, yeah, but it
Bold.
probably should have an arrow up to the open houses and the TAC and the CAC as well. And it needs to be a bright green, not a sad green.
I like the green. It's not a sad green.
Forest green.
It's forest.
Looks bright enough to me. It might be your monitor.
Yeah.
No, I
it's
think she's
farm
just
and
giving me
tree-
flack.
Farm and trees, man. Farm and trees.
No. I know Mary, and the color is giving me flack is the issue. Okay, so there. So there we go. I mean, the
So-
point is, what does LUT want to do with our interaction with development review?
Yes.
That's it in a nutshell.
Yeah.
I struggle with the model that we're going to go with. We have four, it looks like the CPO leaders over here is a big deal, but it's only 4 people that immediately gets taken over by the CCI reps, which are one and the same, right? So the whole neighborhood meeting and public outreach and all this is shrunk down to 4 people talking to the commissioners and the planning commission.
Well, no, there will be a chair and a vice chair. I'm sure there will be a number of, we don't know how the leadership of the 4 commissioner district groups will be laid out, but there will surely be a chair and a vice chair, maybe a secretary, corresponding secretary. So
No,
8,
that's what
10.
ICA does. That's what ICA does. And
Well, we don't
they
know what
said-
she's
they
going to
said-
do.
They said 1 representative. That was it. A
Which is
representative.
insane.
That's
Well-
their
insane.
language.
That
Insane.
I would
It's
agree.
still an
Jim, what do you
unknown.
got?
And they get to be appointed. They're not even chosen by our neighborhood.
Yeah.
Okay, so can
Jim.
I ask a quick question?
That's the break.
Here's a
Please.
clarification here. Is it expected that the CCI, CPO leaders, the 4 people, will be reviewing and reporting about the planning commission stuff? Or will they continue to be doing all of what's on the right-hand side there? I think that's a fundamental, that gets down to what everybody's, the mystery for everybody, because as you say, it would be insane for 4 people to do all of this stuff that's on the right-hand side about plan implementation.
For the entire commissioner district.
Yeah, is the expectation that the 4 people will only participate in plan development?
Well, this is why this whole process is immensely frustrating, because for 4 long years they've talked about modernizing, revisioning, and all they came up with was let's kill it and then we'll postpone actually making any decisions. Academically, this is such a disappointing process for me. And so I want to share with you all what I'm going to be doing. Jim and Stan, you've had a lot to say already. I'll give you a chance when we're done. I am the reason I just allowed myself to be elected chair of the CCI is I wanted to keep it alive so that we could evolve it. The fact that I spent 4 years keeping it alive to come to it being dismantled, I use the term slaughtered, actually, when I'm thinking about it, is something I never would have imagined happening. This is such a shift that I have to be very careful to not use the full vitriol and raging anger that I have at the county for how they've gone about doing this, so that I don't compromise future interactions with the county. So, Paul, I'm not going to listen. You guys are queued up. I am working with the Community Services Network, which represents a whole bunch of different community organizations, more of all sorts of service providers. It turns out that all of our special districts in the county are members of the Community Services Network, although they haven't necessarily been real active. And so I am investigating ways of using Community Services Network as a vehicle for sharing service provider information. And the CSN, Community Services Network, has a monthly learning session. And today it was organizations that have services provided to BIPOC individuals. They had education and employment last month. They have food coming up. So they take their about 1,000 members in their organization and feature segments of them once a month. So I'm involved with that. I'm also involved in the Washington County Public Affairs Forum, which meets monthly, is a 501c3 with a website, with a mailing list. It needs to be rejuvenated. So I'm going to be working with the Washington County Public Affairs Forum also. I think there's great opportunity to do community outreach through our library system, and I'm going to be pursuing that also. So those are the three things that I am going to be pursuing. While I've accumulated a lot of land use knowledge, I have to admit that I'm getting a little bit burned out on the vitriol, anger, and mandates coming from the state changing the system. I think that we should all pay attention to the fact that we have very, very, very little power. And so forming allyships with organizations that are already established, it might be you should go join Thousand Friends of Oregon, or the Washington County Community Action Network, Dale Fikes group. So that's all I really want to say about that right now. Stan, you got something really germane to say about what's going on? You got a couple minutes.
Just going back to the previous slide where the neighborhood meeting should be in green, but
okay,
that's another day.
Okay, I got it. It's done. Thank you. Jim, what do you got?
Jim, are you muted?
I got muted. How are we going to be involved in the next 5, 6, 7 months with the county administrative office? The public's supposed to be involved in the entire planning process, and how are we going to be involved in that? I think there's something that we should be asking for, to be involved on a monthly, on a weekly basis on this, so we can see what's happening.
Well, the county has been thumbing its nose at us for quite a few years now. And so I suggest that we wait until the March 3rd presentation at the work session on how the program is going to go ahead, and then decide what we want to do. We may be offered an actual meaningful position. We might be offered a symbolic representation, hopefully to keep us quiet, or we may just be entirely ignored, and then we will find out in September what the system is. Because the county is not sharing an academic level, respectful engagement with us, I have no reason to think that they're going to engage us at all until we get to September. I don't know. I mean,
Okay. So as I understand, there's going to be an April meeting of all the CPOs, or all the ex-CPOs.
And I got to say, unless there is food and lavish praise for what we've done, I am boycotting the meeting. I have no intention to go and be a lapdog at some damn county meeting.
Okay, the other thing I wanted to bring up before time runs out is we had talked about a party, Awake or Awoke.
Yes. So I want to see what Paul has to say, and we'll get to that.
Okay.
Paul, what do you got?
Listening to all of this, there are several points of agreement, both with Stan and Jim, when it comes to the role that we have. I get back to looking at land use law. Is there anything in the definition of planning that restricts it in the land use law? I just heard the words having to do with all phases of planning.
Well, I think we need to take Sadie Carney's statement to heart. And from the state's point of view, It's just long-term planning. And we don't have time to get into debating this. We're going to.
That's not really the issue. It's what does the law say now? If they're going to change it, that's a different story.
I don't think they're changing it. I think they are reiterating what they think the law says.
Okay, well, normally the court is what would decide.
Well, okay, you take that up with the court. Mary, what do you got?
Any word on whether we're going to get invited to the thank you for volunteers that's usually held in April?
Probably. Okay, so here is my thinking. Since we're supposed to combine somehow, be morphed into, integrate with the Planning Commission, I am making an extremely strong recommendation that we schedule the CCI meetings to correspond to the third Thursday evening meeting of the Planning Commission. Wednesday. I keep saying Thursday. Wednesday meeting, so that the CCI meeting and the Planning Commission happen overlapping. And the CCI could meet prior to the Planning Commission or stay after the Planning Commission or both, so that two things happen. We start associating ourselves with the Planning Commission and we hear the information that is presented to the Planning Commission. So that becomes our agenda in addition to whatever else the group is doing. We could either use the Zoom link. So I would like to, so Zoom provides the ability for one meeting to join another meeting. And I would like to check this out. And ideally, we could have a Zoom meeting where we are working with each other and we can have a chat even. And then when the Planning Commission meeting starts, we join that meeting as a group. That is my hope. Otherwise, we would have a CCI meeting group Zoom, and then we would all bail out and go into the Planning Commission meeting. So, Gretchen, what do you got?
My only issue is I have a standing meeting that I cannot miss.
Well, that's okay. I mean,
I would not be able to be involved.
Okay, well,
Sorry.
damn. So I would like to not defer this to the steering committee meeting tomorrow. I would like to have some discussion on the idea of having the next CCI meeting be coincident with the Planning Commission and extended either before or after or both. Virginia.
I get PC notices, but I don't know if they're because I'm a CPO leader or if there's a separate list that I need to sign up for. That's something that maybe some of us could investigate and let us all know.
I will investigate that. So the county, for having a new website, has a surprisingly inferior public engagement portal. When you go to Beaverton or Tigard or Forest Grove or any city, they do such a better job of reaching the public than the county does. I am so embarrassed for the county, and it's
just look at who's the chair.
So, Mary, what do you got?
I'd like to move that we reschedule our CCI meetings for the third Wednesday of the month. And then we can have a discussion. We need a second.
Virginia seconded. Okay. What do we think about that?
Isn't the Planning Commission Wednesday?
Yes. So we meet.
I said Wednesday, didn't I?
Tuesday. We meet on the third Tuesday. They meet on the third Wednesday. We would shift the CCI meeting one day to correspond to the Planning Commission meeting.
And community comments are not available for the Planning Commission.
What's that? Yes, they are.
There as observers.
No, the Planning Commission has public comment.
They do?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ah.
The planning
Can we
commission
do
has
third Tuesday, Mary? Third Tuesday? Is that what you guys
Third
No,
proposing?
third Wednesday, third
So
Wednesday.
the same day as the planning commission, only
Yes.
in the
Yes.
daytime?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
No,
okay. So
the third Wednesday of the month, they meet at 6:30 PM.
they meet, yes.
Yeah, and they also have a day meeting on the first Wednesday of the month,
Right.
but that's a day
So
meeting.
you want us to meet prior to their meeting on the same day, on Wednesday?
Yes.
Well, that's to be
When do
discussed.
they
like what-
adjourn?
Sometimes
like
they
what
can
Bruce
go
was
quite
saying?
late. Sometimes the agenda requires them to go quite late.
And
Oh, yeah, I've been there till 10 o'clock at night. Yeah.
and if we can, and we would have a say in how long the CCI meeting lasts, we might like join the CCI meeting a half hour before the planning commission. And then if we have to all join the planning commission meeting, we would do that. And then we could reconvene after the planning commission ends as a separate meeting if we needed to work on things. Is that, so we moved the CCI meeting one day from Tuesday to Wednesday. Same basic time.
No, we'd
Is
be
this a
meeting an
temporary
hour
thing?
early. We'd
You'd
be
have to
meeting
be
at
like
6.
from,
Well, yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
you'd
Jim,
have to be like 5 to 6.
Mr. Long.
Is this a temporary thing? I mean, like
Well,
I said,
the whole thing is temporary because it's going to go away in September.
I have their agenda up for tomorrow, and under public communications, they give 5 minutes per individual and 10 minutes per authorized representative of a community participation organization. So
There you go.
the CPO still exists, but this would conflict with it if we're meeting at the same time. And it's like, why would we want to meet at the same time that the Board of Commissioners is meeting? Why would we want to
Not
meet
the
at
Board
the
of
same time
Commissioners.
the
You talk
Planning
about the
Commission?
Planning Commission?
Planning commission.
You're not letting me finish, Bruce. You got both of, we were avoiding it before, because if people want to participate, they need to go there and do that. You know, for example, I'm going to be maybe testifying before legislature in the morning, maybe have a steering committee meeting at 11ish, and then 6:30 tomorrow doing some public communications before the planning commission. So we don't want to overburden and duplicate things. We want to have them kind of separate. So your word overlay raises questions in my mind as to what we're doing, whether we're duplicating or whether we're doing that so we can actually participate and take 10 minutes to speak before the planning commission.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So maybe
Like
we
I'm gonna
should,
go talk tomorrow and take 5 minutes. I've been voted by my CPO to represent and speak for CPO 14. So,
In my
I gotta
mind,
be there. I gotta be there at 6.
we don't know what the system is going to result in. And so in my mind, we might as well act like it's like we're part of the planning commission already. And we could meet before, and we could meet any time that we wanted to. It's just that I am frickin' tired of running the CCI with the lack of respect that the county has given me personally. So I am just done with the CCI as it stands now. And so moving it to the planning commission is where we're going to go in a few months. And so why not go where we're going to be in a few months and figure out, I mean, we could have the steering committee Zoom account set up for Tuesday if y'all want to have a CCI meeting on Tuesdays. I don't want to do it. I'm done. The whole thing is just like beyond my tolerance to put up with this. And I applaud all that you're doing, and you're doing great stuff. But if we moved it to Wednesday, where of course we could meet earlier, we could let's get creative on how we can do this, but we might as well anticipate where we're going in the very near future. Mary.
So I think one of the real advantages to meeting at the same time as Planning Commission is that we will benefit from the training sessions that Planning Commission has. And they have, I mean, this next meeting, they're going to be talking about the CDC assessment. And I think it's really good to build a relationship with Planning Commission as
Yeah.
opposed to, you know, I think we kind of treat them as an afterthought. And I think it would build better relationships with them. I think one of the things that OAO and LUT are forgetting about this process is that CCI is still going to function until the new CCI takes over in September. CCI is tasked with developing the community engagement program, and they are tasked with assisting the government in developing the citizen engagement program. So they really should be including us in the conversation. And I think it's something as CCI we could push that a bit more than we have been.
I agree. And since we're going to get an update in 2 weeks on what the county is thinking, that will give us a point to refer to, right? If we do it now, it's like talking to OAO is like yelling into a cardboard box. It provides very little satisfaction to me personally. And so if we have an official position on March 3rd, we might even have a March CCI meeting on Tuesday to discuss it, and then a second meeting at the Planning Commission. I don't know. I mean, this whole thing. I want to get this out of my head, right? Okay, Isla.
First of all, I was really impressed to see that they gave us 10 minutes on the Planning Commission agenda for CPOs and whatever we're called in the future, CCI representatives or whatever. I mean, I was asking for some time now that we have a slot for the citizen input on the agendas of the commissioners and the Planning Commission as a standard framework of their agenda. And so I was happy to see that 10-minute thing there. And I hope they continue to do that every meeting, that we know we have a place to speak. That's great. I mean, for me, I would meet with y'all before the meeting that starts at 6, right? We could
6:30.
meet anytime.
It starts at 6:30.
6:30.
Yeah.
So I need a half hour to get there if I'm going to testify or be there in person. So I'd be willing to meet from 4 to 5 or whatever when we can, to if we have something we need to talk about before the meeting. Maybe sometimes we won't even have that meeting. Probably we need to meet after the meeting though, if we have concerns or more discussion about what they said at their meeting.
So there could be
And
a
I'm
steering
happy to
committee
meet
meeting
then as
on
well.
Thursday.
Yeah,
So
I'm happy to do both if we need it.
Mary made a coherent statement of our thinking that
Emotion.
aligning ourselves with the Planning Commission yields us training benefits, and it lets us make a relationship with the Planning Commission and might even inspire LUT's thinking in how they're going to integrate us. Ms. Treekeepers.
Unmute. Okay, let me get this straight. The Planning Commission is 9 people, right?
Yes.
And they are appointed people.
Yes.
Okay, and
No,
so
they're elected.
when they, what?
Planning Commission's elected.
No,
No, they're appointed.
they're appointed by the commissioners.
I'm sorry?
They are
Oh,
appointed.
I'm
I'm
sorry
looking,
that there's separate districts, but yes, they
I'm
I
looking
think
at,
they have to apply,
appointed. I'm sorry.
right? The
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
have to apply and then they, would then be appointed or basically
I'm
hired.
yeah. Okay, I just,
Correct.
the county website is not easy, but
No,
I
it's
just,
embarrassing.
I'm looking at their pictures. The Planning Commission consists of 9 community volunteers appointed by the board to serve for 4 years. That's their term. And
They're
so,
not geographical. They're the only limitations are that they there are certain numbers of people in various professions.
Well, I'm
Okay,
just
Mary Lou,
looking.
where are we going with this? We're running out of
Okay,
time.
Yeah.
And they
my
eliminated that, by the way, Virginia. They just took that away. Now they can have all the realtors they want.
my curiosity here is that they seem to be appointed by district. In other words, there's the chair happens to be from District 2. There's a vice chair at large. There's a member that's for District 1.
Okay, what's your point?
Okay, so these people are volunteers and
Yeah.
they are appointed volunteers.
Yeah.
So I don't understand exactly how we fit into this.
We don't know.
We don't.
That's the thing that
So
is so incredibly frustrating.
should we be concerned about these appointees per district?
Go ahead.
Yes.
And
We've been
do you-
for a long time.
and find out something about them so that
Some planning
we know
commissions.
who we're dealing with here.
Why? I mean, the planning commission is the planning commission, and that is where
Doesn't
the
even
land use
matter.
part of the CCI is going.
You
And
can
really-
go online. You
People
can go
who
online
wanna
and you
be
can
on-
find their. You can go online and find their applications.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you want to
People
know more
who
about
wanna
them,
be
you
on
can.
the people who want to be on the planning commission respond to a request for open positions. They fill out a form and then they get interviewed by somebody from the administration office. And that information gets
Todd is
distributed.
the
That
Todd's one of them.
information gets distributed to the board with recommendations, and the board appoints those people. So it's very much of an administration-led process and a board-approved process.
Okay, so
Like one of us, feisty people, the chances for you getting appointed to the planning commission probably go way down.
Well, you need to sort of, the whole board and commission assignment process is like a professional level interview. And Mary, you're raising your hand.
I am raising my hand because I was appointed to planning commission, and I will say the only reason I was appointed to the planning commission was I talked to my commissioner and I indicated that I was interested, and I had a good friend who really had Desiree's arm and whispered in her ear, appoint Mary. And it's absolutely, if you want to be appointed, you need to have that connection with your commissioner. That's the
Not
only
to
way
have
you're
the
gonna
other
get-
commissioners hate you.
Well, but no, generally it's each commissioner from their district gets to appoint 2 people, and those people don't necessarily have to be in that commissioner's district. Right now, District 2 is really, really heavy. And part of it is people have moved, part of it is you don't have to actually appoint somebody from your district.
So Mary Lou, does this kind of address your question?
Well, yeah, it's kind of like I don't, I'm not interested personally in applying for one of these. What are they called now?
We don't know.
Whatever they're called.
So we're running out of time. We're going over past 9 o'clock. I was wanting to be done. Do you have a point?
Okay. Well, yes, I guess we ought to investigate those appointed planning commissioners.
Well, we
You
should have
can
been
do that,
doing that
Mary
all
Lou.
for the last 40
Right.
years too. I mean, this is not new.
At this point, we really have no idea what it means that CCI is going to be folded into the planning commission.
Nope.
Are they going to add members or,
Jim, what do you got?
I believe we have a planning commission member in our attendees. He could weigh in on this for us, Anthony.
Well, they don't know anything. I mean,
Wait a minute,
Anthony, I mean,
Who do we have in the attendees? Well,
I mean,
Anthony was on the, Anthony was on the
we
planning
would put
commission just
we
because I
would put
was.
we
So,
would put an innocent planning commission member on the hook.
We're
And
not
there,
putting him on the hook. If he wants to participate, he can participate.
but you know what? We have a motion on the table. I'm calling the question. Shall we move the CCI meeting to the third Wednesday of the month? And meeting time
I
is
second
to
that
be
motion.
determined.
I second.
Sure.
So-
and we would provide something either on the beginning or the end of that meeting for private conversation amongst us.
And this is just until we find out more.
Yes.
Yes.
So can we take a vote? We're out of time.
Yeah, we're out of time.
Could I add one thing, is maybe have
Sure.
a follow-up?
Sure.
With our board members meeting the following day. to
Let's
do
not
the
worry about the
follow-up.
details. Let's not worry about the details at this point. Let's
Well,
just move
it's
the
just
meeting.
it's just
And we
an
can talk,
offering.
we can
would
talk
move-
about this
offering.
more at planning or at our steering committee meeting
Yeah,
tomorrow.
but that would be the offer, is to have the steering committee do the follow-up the following day.
Sure. That would probably follow logically.
Okay.
Okay, so anybody opposed to this?
Yes.
Jim, you're opposed. Okay. So we
Ben,
have
Ben is also, isn't he? Ben is opposed.
I'm,
Ben. Ben
I'm
Marcotte.
unlikely to be able to attend.
Ah,
Oh, but it's not the philosophy of doing it, it's your availability.
A little of both.
A little of both. Okay, so 12-2. And next month, we very well may have a Tuesday CCI meeting. As a matter of fact, more I think about it, with the March 3rd presentation to the board at the work session, it probably would be worthwhile having a March Tuesday CCI meeting and then trying out the next night. Yes, Mary?
the open house for the CDC assessment is happening on
Tuesday.
the third Tuesday of the month.
Oh, yeah.
So there is a conflict there.
Okay. Well, I guess we're going to have a steering committee meeting tomorrow at 11 at the same time as we have been having them.
Figure out the logistics there, and then we'll do our best to align.
Yeah. Okay. Well, how about that?
So I move we adjourn.
Suits me.
I second.
Third it.
Nice seeing y'all.
Seeing you.
Bye, everybody.
Happy Year of the Snake. Lent.
Fire
Year of the
horse,
horse.
fire horse.
Fire horse. Fire horse.
New moon.
Yeah.
It's
New
the
moon,
horse. It's the
Ramadan.
fire
Good
horse.
night, Irene.
Yeah, it's supposed to be all kinds of energy and progress.
The fire horse.
All on board.
See you
Onward
later.
and upward.